Does anyone know what they're doing? I graduated nursing school in March and I don't want to be a nurse. I had a full ride through a hospital and I was supposed to work there for 3 years. And if I don't work there, I have to pay all my college back. But I don't want to work there or be a nurse. But I don't know what I want to do. I have like this crazy urge that I'm young, I'm like independent, like alone, and I can do whatever I want. And so I know for the next however many years, I don't want to just go to work every day. Like I want to do something bigger, but I have like no idea, and I have to pay back like all this money. I think I literally have to make this decision in 3 days. And I've had it in my mind that like I'm paying it back, I'm not being a nurse, but now like the numbers are hitting me and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like I thought after college it would be like the best life ever. And I literally just have no idea what I'm doing. Like each day I'm like, what? I don't know what to do. I'm alone. Like I feel lonely sometimes, even though like sometimes I feel super independent and I'm like happy. I'm like proud of myself, but this makes no sense. This video is like trash, but am I alone or does anyone else feel this way?
Nursing is the most toxic profession of all time. I can't even think of another profession more toxic. If you can, let me know. We're not meant to be on such high alert for such a long period of time. We're always on constant fight or flight mode. We are always activated. Even when you're chilling, you're not chilling. The amount of anxiety, the amount of stress that is put on our minds, on our emotional well-being, no human should ever have to go through. 1 minute you're coding grandma in one room, then the next second you're getting yelled at by someone who's mad because they waited 30 minutes in the ER. And then the next moment you're coding baby. And then the next minute someone's mad at you for not bringing them water. Nah, this ain't it. People are like, oh, you just can't let it bother you. What? We are put in between life and death. And you're just expected to go home like everything's okay. And then you show up to work and people say, do better. You didn't chart this on time. You didn't give this med on time. Insane. It's insanity. I don't know how we normalize such a toxic profession. People are like, oh, you can make it better one step at a time. No, there is no getting better. This machine has too much money. One of the largest sectors, one of the largest, most profitable sectors. Billions and billions of dollars. Dollars I can't even imagine. Nah, we're just pawns. We're just pawns in this game. So call off, quit, or don't. Do whatever you want. None of it matters.
The one thing that ruined my career that I worked so hard to get and I loved dearly was this. Management, CEOs, any hospital corporation that I worked for ruined my love for my career. My name is Jamie and I'm an emergency room nurse for 15 years. And before that, I was an EMT. I worked on an ambulance for 5 years. So my love and passion for emergency medicine and helping people at their worst, my heart was full when I got that job as an emergency room nurse. I worked my ass off for that. I absolutely love emergency medicine. I loved traumas. I loved helping people, holding their hand, fixing whatever the emergency is, doing my best that I could do to make their quality of life better. I did. What ruined that passion that I had was the people that were trying to tell me what to do that had no business telling me how to be a nurse. I understand that hospital systems are a business. They need to make revenue, whatever. I get it. I understand that. But when you put profit over patient care, it not only ruins the quality of care for the patients, but it ruins us. Over the years, I had to make myself numb and just not feel anything because the more things that I had to do by myself because they wouldn't hire extra help. They wouldn't hire extra nurses. They kept giving us more and more and more and more and more things to do. I couldn't even take care of patients the way I was supposed to take care of, not supposed to, but morally take care of somebody. When I am in a room and titrating a drip, a critical drip on a person that I have to be at the bedside for, and then I get a phone call saying that grandma next door is still on the bedpan, that she's probably been on for about 4 hours because that's the last time I was able to get in there. And now she's probably going to develop a bed sore because we have no help. We don't have enough techs. We don't have enough ancillary staff to help because they don't want to hire anybody. Shit like that grew my heart so angry, and just my mental health, because simple things like that eat away at us as nurses when we come home and we're like, oh my God. We forget about the good that we did, and we focus on that grandma that I left on the bedpan for hours because I couldn't get in there to get her off. But that's not my fault. But in my mind, it was my fault. And corporations like that, they know that. They feed on us. They feed on that nurturing side of us because we will just do it. And that's what broke me. It broke me. I was no longer the caring person that I used to be. My mom even told me, what happened to my sweet girl? When I finally never went back because my mental health was so damaged, I had to figure out something else. So now, who do I work for? I work for me. I started my own business as a health coach. So I'm helping people in my own way, how I want to do it, all online. My heart is coming back. My mental health is coming back. That joy and that passion that I had again is coming back. And I will be damned if I ever work for people like that again. If you're in this same situation, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. And unfortunately, it fucking sucks because you work so hard for this career that is just squashed by people who give no shits. Anyways, that's my rant. But yeah, if you're in this situation, there are other ways that you can bring that passion back of whatever it is that you enjoy doing. All right. Have a good day. I will talk to you tomorrow. And you deserve better. You deserve better. All right.
I quit nursing. Let's talk about it. Let's freaking talk about it. I can't stand to see another comment. Like, I've never gotten hate this much in my entire life, and that's okay. But let's talk about it because, number one, it is not to follow my boyfriend around. It is not to follow my boyfriend around. I don't care if you think it is, but I'm sick of getting the comments saying I quit to follow him around because that is not true. That is not why. I was going to wait to make this till I was like cute and getting ready, but like I just can't do it anymore. We're going to talk about it. So, if you know, I was a med-surg nurse in New York City, and I loved peds med-surg. I loved it. I loved how the kids were awake. I could play with them. But sometimes I was like, do I kind of want more? Like, do I want to try these high stressful situations? Like, sometimes we'd have like rapids and like it get stressful, and I just felt like I was doing more. Hated New York, loved my job. I literally loved that job. I loved my boss. I loved my coworkers. I loved my work. Hated New York, so I had to get out of there. Went here, back to MUSC, wanted to try PICU because like I wanted to see what that was about. I did like it, and I liked the place I worked and the people. I didn't get as close with the people. A couple people I did, but like, I don't know. It was just a really big unit, and it's hard to get close with people, I guess. And in the PICU, you can't really leave your spot ever, like not even to go to the bathroom. So I guess I just didn't really talk to that many people. And like I get nervous when people like know me from like social media. I feel like they already have something in their brain. So I don't know, but I can't tell if I liked PICU because obviously it's so sad every single day. Like kids are dying every single day. And then like the fact that like I just had so much anxiety all the time, like being like, if I do this one thing, like this could fuck up everything and ultimately result in something you don't even want to speak about. So I'm like, I can't even really deal with that. And I didn't like the fact that I feel like to work in the PICU, you almost have to become immune to death. And like they make really good PICU nurses, the one who can be like, all right, next, like, which just sounds fucked up, but that you can't take every kid home with you. And I feel like I just don't know if I can do that. Like it was just, I just didn't love how you have to speak and be about like go. But they make the best nurses. And like I just also found myself not like say there was a code or something, they were like, go get in there, and I'd be like, why do I want nothing to do with that? Like why? Like I want to go run and get you stuff. Like I had this pit in my stomach every time something like that happened, versus like we debrief and everyone would be like, they'd be like, oh, I didn't get to go in, or like, oh, I wanted to do that, like the new people, or like next time I want to do this. And I was like, I don't, is that bad? I'm too afraid. And like I know like, I just have to study, focus more. Not that I wasn't ready, like don't come and twist this and say you were too dumb for the PICU, because that's not the case. Like I knew what to do and I knew how to do it, and I took amazing care of my patients, and I'm very proud of a lot of the things I did. But very high stress, and I don't like that I don't get to talk to my kids. They're all asleep and intubated basically, like most of them, and I just like talking with them and playing with them and seeing their personality. And like I feel like you don't see as many people get better in the PICU versus like med surg, you get to send them home a lot. So it was kind of that paired with the fact that like brand deals, I've been getting these amazing last minute travel opportunities to go to like Cabo or like LA for the week, but they've been like all inviting me the week before, and I'm like, I'm 25, I don't want to waste my 20s doing a job that like I don't know if I'm happy at, when I have a whole nother job that pays me 5 times my other salary, which I know is a privilege. Like I understand I'm very, very, very privileged for this silly little job I do right here. Like I am privileged to, I should not be making way more than I do as a nurse. Like that is ridiculous. I understand. But you would capitalize on it too. And I know people are hating, but I know if they were in my situation, they would do the exact same thing. But they're literally like shitting on me. Like I'm the worst person on this planet Earth for quitting one of my jobs that I don't even make income from, barely. So like compared to this, it's very upsetting, because I'm like, also people who are just influencers don't get hate. Like there's so many people who are just influencers, but just because they were never a nurse, people don't hate them. So why can they be an influencer, but I can't just be an influencer? Why do I always have to be doing everything? Like I understand I've been doing everything since like high school. Like I've done cheer team, straight from practice to studying to this, like to working out to managing boyfriends, friendships. But like for once in my life, I've chosen me and I've done what I wanted to do. I felt like I was keeping my nursing job just to please you guys, and I don't think that's healthy. I think I finally turned 25 or was about to, and I was like, I want to do something for me. This is the first time I've chosen something for myself, and I'm so proud of that, and I'm so happy. And I can tell people who are happy for me, I can tell the people who aren't, and that's okay, because I just know I'm happy. And if you really care about me, then you'll be happy too. It has nothing to do with my boyfriend. I know it seems like I got this boyfriend, he got called up, I quit my job. Like I get it. If you don't know me, the timeline looks a little sus, but it's not like that at all. I wanted to quit even before we talked about it for a long time, like months, and I like even took him out of the picture. I was like, would you still want to quit if you were single? And I was like, yeah, I would want to be doing this and like hanging with my friends and doing this and like going to the beach. And I'm living at the beach in Charleston, and like the schedule for the PICU was every other weekend you have to work. So like even if I was out of town visiting Trey, I'd come back and I'd have to work, and I couldn't see my friends at all. Couldn't go to the beach with them, couldn't do stuff that my 9 to 5 friends hang out they work all week and then they hang out on the weekends. I'd have to be at work. So I'm like, why am I like making myself sick, not able to clean up, be able to do my apartment, barely even travel, barely see my friends when I don't have to? Like it doesn't make sense. Why would I do that when I don't have to? I have the privilege to not have to do that for right now. Will I go back to nursing? Probably. I kind of could see myself like going the aesthetic route, or like I don't think I'd do PICU again. I could see myself maybe doing some kind of peds again, but I don't know about bedside. Possibly. It was very fulfilling, but I could see myself being like a little business girly opening. I kind of want to open like aesthetics. I've been wanting to do like Pilates, coffee, something like that. I don't know. It'd be cool to open something that can combine a lot of those things. I don't know. But I have all my figs and everything in the storage tote, so don't worry. Nursing will probably be back one day. I think it'd be really cool to be aesthetics, and like then aesthetics are perfect because I could actually take you guys along and film my whole entire day and people, versus like my other job, like I couldn't even film. Like I wasn't even allowed to, like in USC you can't even like film, like, it's so strict, which is fine and fair. Like, I totally get it. But I feel like you guys aren't missing that much content, because I was just doing like lazy, get ready, exhausted, get ready with me for work. Bye. Like, they were so boring. I wasn't even like making good content at the time. So that's kind of what's up. I understand we're frustrated with my content and how it looks the same every day when I visit my boyfriend, but like, guys, I'm still navigating a new relationship. I guess it's not new, we're almost at 6 months, but like a new relationship where I'm actually happy and it's healthy, and sometimes I don't want to film, so I just piece things together, and I'm working on it. I'm working on the new content. I'm working on still doing like cool content that just doesn't, I don't know, involve him. And I know everyone's like, it only involves him. And I'm like, well, I am, like, baseball, you have to come into their lives. So it's like, they're like, your life is his now. And I'm like, that's not true. I'm doing my own thing, but like, it just involves him now. Like, how come other people can post with their boyfriends, but since mine plays baseball, like, I'm the bad guy? Like, I don't understand, y'all. Also, we need to cut it with the you got fired, you came into work hungover, like, whatever the search bar is, because what the fuck are y'all talking about? Like, respectfully, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, never did I ever go into work hungover. Never would I ever drink. Yeah, I might have traveled across the country, but like, you guys don't understand, doctors work 24-hour shifts and stay awake. Every single nurse is exhausted. People go out the night, like, not during work, but like, people do go out the night before and sleep and then go into work. Like, we wouldn't go to work if it wasn't safe, and you don't understand. I never did that, but like, you don't understand how healthcare works, clearly, if you were concerned about that. So I was never unsafe with my patients. I would never ever do that, and if I was, I would call out, which you guys would also figure out somehow and have a problem with and make it a whole thing. Which also, like, there was also, I can't even, it was just too much drama for no reason. I'm happy. If you care about me, you'll be happy too. Hope this helps. Love y'all. Thank you for the people who support.
So I'm in my last and final year of nursing school, and I do not want to be a nurse anymore. I feel so ungrateful for having this conversation because I worked my ass off to get here. I applied 3 years in a row back to back to the same nursing school because it was my dream school. I've maintained a 4.0 the past 3 years I've been in nursing school, and then another 2 years that I was in regular school. Side note, I've been in undergrad for 7 years total. I don't have a bachelor's degree. I'm about to be 25, which is fine. There's like no rush or whatever, but I have been in school for 7 years. So that also might be what's like blowing me. I also feel like maybe I got burnt out in nursing school a little bit early because I had a shitty clinical instructor and I had a shitty clinical floor. And so I really just got the ick from bedside early on. So naturally, I'm not a bedside girly. I used to want to be a plastic surgeon, and then by like my sophomore year of school, I was like, why would I be a plastic surgeon? Like, I'm not going to med school. Like, there's no way. And then I fell in love with like aesthetics and what you could do with injections and just everything in that field. And I have been tunnel vision driven going into aesthetics since I graduated high school, and I'm right here at the finish line. Like I said, worked my ass off, saying everything right, and I don't even want it anymore. This is probably the most confusing time in my life because I can't see myself doing anything else. Still want to be in aesthetics, but it's just like weird because I'm so tired of putting in the work to get there. I also feel like the last 3 years of nursing school have been filled with shit that I'm like not interested in half the time, or that I don't love, or that I'm really uncomfortable doing. Like, I'm really uncomfortable in the hospital setting. That has just been drilled into us 24/7. I'm trying to stay positive. I also am like a little overwhelmed because I'm about to graduate, and I feel like the aesthetics community when it comes to nurses are just like a little bit gatekeepy. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I reached out to so many people asking how they got their foot in the door, and everybody just like kind of like goes around the bush, and no one is straightforward, and no one is like, let me give you a helping hand, or like, this is exactly what I did, or this is what I would do. It's just like, it just seems like I'm really on my own. I don't really relate to my classmates. I don't really relate to my teachers when it comes to like my interest, and then people that are in my field of interest are not, so mentor, loving, open arms vibes that I've run into. But I know there are people out there, and I can't wait until I meet someone. But anyways, yeah, so I just had to vent. But what a confusing time to be like 25 at the finish line, 7 years after working my ass off, doing everything right. Also, I'm in the process of applying for grad school. So just exhausting to be applying for, like, writing my personal statements and essay questions are hard because I'm like, I remember how easy it was for me to just sit and talk for hours about why I wanted to be a nurse and why I wanted to be in nursing school. And now I'm like just pulling shit out of my ass, I feel like. Because my passion, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't even know where I'm going with this. I just had to vent, but hopefully someone out there is feeling the same. Whether you're like in your last year of nursing school or not, whether you already are a nurse, whatever. I hope I'm not alone. Like, I'm hoping there's some like, I hope like what I'm going through is like at least like kind of normal, because I feel really crazy and also very ungrateful and very bitchy for having these thoughts. Okay, thank you.
Ooh, nurse besties, do we have tea to talk about today? Y'all, I hope that you saw that video of that nurse practitioner saying that it's ghetto for nurses and nurse practitioners and generally healthcare workers to show up to work full glam, put together, hair done, nails done. And she's getting a lot of backlash for it. And I just want to talk about this because she deserves all the backlash she gets. Let's chat. So, first things first, if there's one thing you need to know about nurses and working in nursing, it's that you need to have really thick skin, because this is the kind of shit that all nurses try to warn nursing students and people thinking of going into the profession about before they actually get into it, because these are the kind of things that people focus on instead of the actual issues at hand that come with being a nurse. Like how we have horrible fucking healthcare as nurses, how we're constantly understaffed, and how there's no such thing as patient to staff ratios, how poorly management treats nurses as a whole, how nurses are constantly ridiculed over some shit that's irrelevant. I swear, y'all, as a nurse, we just can't catch a break. Not from other healthcare professionals, not from our patients, not from our patients' family. We can't even catch a break from other nurses and nurse practitioners anymore, because people are always worried about the wrong shit when it comes to healthcare. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't care if you look like a baddie at work. I don't care if you look like a mess. How you look is none of my business. As long as you're doing your job, you're taking care of your patients, we're all playing our part to make this workday go by quicker, I don't give a fuck at all. And it just goes to show how toxic nursing is and how it literally attracts the worst people to this profession. It's so crazy. I feel like if you are so quick to pass judgment on other nurses because of the way they look, then you're also probably doing that to your patients. And that's stereotyping, and that's wrong. That's like one of the first things that I learned about in nursing school is you have to put back your own belief systems, your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own prejudice, your own stereotypes, and put that to the side to fully care for someone as a whole person. If this girl is so bent over backwards about nurses having fake eyelashes, I cannot imagine the kind of bias she holds against her own patients. It's a red flag. And it just goes back to, this is something that I've even experienced working as a nurse. There are times where I would show up full glam. I generally do wear makeup at work and my hair is done. That's just what I do. Sometimes I do wear it up, but it just depends on the week. Depends on how I feel, and most of the time I enjoy looking nice at work. There have been times where I've walked into work and the first thing someone says to me instead of good morning is, "Wow, you're so done up. Wow, are you going on a hot date after work? Oh, maybe it's Maybelline." Like, just really odd comments, and it gives jealousy, it gives insecurity, and it gives hater. And I just can't relate. I really can't. And moral of the story of this topic is we as a whole, as nurses, we need to be focusing on the things that really matter, and how your coworker looks, how other nurses look on the internet, whatever, has nothing to do with you or patient care or the fact that we are underpaid for what we do. We take on way too many patients and unsafe assignments. There are so many things as a whole that is wrong about being a nurse that we're not targeting this energy towards that we should be. And it's just insane, you guys. Let's redirect this negativity towards other nurses and redirect it to something that could actually maybe help us as a whole. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this topic because it's juicy.
Be careful when you make friends with your coworkers, especially if you're in healthcare, okay? Especially if you're a nurse, because people can be very, very malicious, very shady, and they will play with your nursing license and they will try to get you fired. They may try to go to the nursing board and get your license taken away. So let me tell you a story time about what happened when I made friends with a nurse at work and what she did and how malicious and crazy she was. So once upon a time, I made friends with a coworker. She seemed super cool, super nice. We had some things in common. We were around the same age. We had some of the same activities and hobbies, and we were both moms. So we started, vibing at work and talking outside of work. Sometimes she would call me and vent to me and tell me about like her man problems and all this and this and that. So everything was fine until one day. One day we were short-staffed at work. So one of the nurses called out, and this is when I was an LVN and we were passing meds. So each one of us had a med cart. So one nurse called out and we had to divide her cart. So we were already short-staffed as it is. So now we had to add all of her patients. We had to divide them between 4 nurses. So we each had to pick up another maybe 12 patients. And when she found out, she came to where we all were discussing which rooms we would take on. And she said, I'm not doing it. I'm not taking any of these patients. You guys can do it yourselves. And I told her, I was like, look, I know which patients are more difficult. I will take the more difficult patients. You take these 3 rooms. These have the easier patients. And me and the other nurses, we took on more rooms. We only gave her like 3 rooms, less patients than we were taking on. And she was like, no, I'm not doing it. And she started cussing, and she cussed at me. She's like, you effing do it. I'm like, what? She called me an effing B, and this was in front of everybody. Not only was it embarrassing, it was totally disrespectful. And I stood up for myself and I told her that you cannot talk to me like that. You're not going to disrespect me in front of everybody. You're being a child because you don't want to split this assignment when none of us are here wanting to do this, but we have to do it. So she just kept cussing me out. I walked away. That was that. So after that, it was a few days later, one of the other nurses, she's like, hey, did you hear what so-and-so said about you? And I'm like, no, what did she say? So this was the same nurse. Let's call her Jane. So the nurse told me that Jane said that she was gonna beat me up. I'm like, beat me up? I am a grown-up. I am not in high school. She's not gonna beat me up. And she's like, yeah. And not only that, she said she's gonna take your man. Because my boyfriend at the time, who is my husband now, he used to come to my job and he used to bring me lunch and flowers and things like that. She didn't have a man, and I think she saw him one day out in the parking lot and thought he was cute because he is. So that didn't really bother me. I thought it was funny. But what bothered me is this. A few days later, the DON called me to her office and she asked me a question that really pissed me off. So she said, Laura, I was told by Jane that you have missing narcotics. I rolled my eyes so hard to the back of my head because I don't do that. I wouldn't risk my license. I have kids. I have bills. I have a future that I care about. I would never risk my license for narcotics. Not only that, I don't do them. I'm not a druggie. But anyways, so she told the DON that I was stealing narcotics. So I told the DON, I said, okay, show me the proof. Where is the proof? Are there any narcotics that are missing right now? No. Anytime that I count with any nurse, is there anything suspicious? Is there anything missing? No. Everything that is signed for in the MAR is also signed for on the physical sheet. And you can go and ask the patients, because most of these patients were alert. They can tell you if they're getting their medication or not. Like, go ask the residents if they're receiving their narcotics, because they will complain if they don't get their narcotics. These are the types of patients that get it like around the clock, every 6 hours, every 8 hours, every 4 hours. They'll come to you for their narcotics. You don't even have to ask them. They're going to come directly. They're going to stand in front of your cart and tell you, hey, I want my Dilaudid. Hey, I want my Norco. I want my Oxy. If I didn't give it to them, if I was stealing it, there would be like proof. There would be meds that have been discarded, that have been signed for by me. There's nothing. So they did their little investigation, if you even want to call it that. And there was no proof because I wasn't doing that. She was just hating. So all of this was because she got mad because she didn't want to take on extra patients that we took on for her. That's crazy. So the funniest thing is what happened to her. She ended up getting fired because she was actually an alcoholic, and she would sit in her car on her lunch breaks and drink. I didn't know this at the time. She ended up getting caught drinking in her car and got fired. So I guess karma wins in the end, you know? So be very careful who you make friends with in your healthcare position, because there's people out there that are not happy with themselves. And I could say that she was probably not a happy person to do all of these things and go to the extent that she went to try to, you know, destroy my career. That's not right. And you shouldn't do that. If you're really that miserable, look at your life, analyze it, and try to figure out ways that you can improve your life. So yeah, I hope that this was a good educational experience and story time for anybody that is trying to become a nurse. Be careful, please. Don't make too many friends at work. Remember, your coworkers are your coworkers. Leave your personal life outside of work. Yes, you can make amazing friends in the nursing field. I've made 3, maybe. Everyone else, I consider them a coworker or an acquaintance, because at the end of the day, you have to remember that people can hold things against you. And when you're at work, not everybody likes you. People pretend, they play nice at work, but they may secretly not like you for many different reasons. That's a whole nother story that I could get into. But yes, stay safe out there, protect your nursing license, and have a good day. Bye.